This is Jeff Standridge, and this is the Innovation Junkies podcast. If you want to drastically improve your business, learn proven growth strategies, and generate sustained results for your organization, you've come to the right place. Over the next half hour, we're going to be sharing specific strategies, tactics, and tips that you can use to grow your business, no matter the size, no matter the industry, and no matter the geography. Weekly, we'll bring in a top mover and shaker, someone who's done something unbelievable with his or her business, and we'll dig deep. We'll uncover specific strategies, tactics, and tools that they've used to help you achieve your business goals. Welcome to the Innovation Junkies podcast.
Hey guys, if you're looking to put your business on the fast track to achieving sustained strategic growth, this episode is sponsored by the team at Innovation Junkie. To learn more about our Growth DX, go to innovationjunkie.com/growthdx. Now let's get on with the show.
Hey guys, welcome to the Innovation Junkies podcast. My name is Jeff Standridge.
And this is Jeff Amrine. Glad to be back.
Hey, glad you're with us. Glad I'm with you. I don't know which is which.
Every day's a good day when the Jeffs are together, right?
That's exactly right. Tell us who we've got today, Jeff.
We've got just a fantastic guest coming on, and her name is Elizabeth Shue, and she is a public company board member and the CEO of A2C Leadership Group. She served as two chief technology officer positions for billion-dollar revenue companies, CP Group and BMC Software. She became a C-level executive back in 2005 at a publicly traded company. She provides coaching and leadership, digital transformation, AI, and cloud. And she's also an investor for early stage companies. Elizabeth has taught at Stanford for 6 years in leadership. Is currently a guest lecturer at Stanford University, teaching digital transformation, the Department of Engineering Management Science. She's also an advisor for MIT Innovation Initiatives. She's got an MS and BS degree from Peking University and a PhD and a master's from the University of Nevada. She's a Harvard certified board member and attended the Stanford Executive Program. Lots and lots of awards, and the Presidential Award in 2019 for global leadership. Just a variety of recognition, and we're just really lucky to have her on board with us today to talk about innovation.
Fantastic.
Welcome, Elizabeth.
It's great to have you with us.
Well, hi, Jeff. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You can.
Yeah,
Jeff, it's really great to have you. And I think, you guys look like perfect twins.
Oh,
that's
dear.
not the first time I've heard that today.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, Elizabeth, we like to kick off each episode, when we remember to do so, with what we call a random musing, just something that's not related to the podcast episode itself, a kind of a fun icebreaker. Today's random musing is, if you were going to do one or the other, would it be skydiving or bungee jumping, and why?
Well, I would say that I will do skydive, even though if I had a choice, I wouldn't do at all. The reason is, when you do skydive, you can have your coach with you. And then I think having a coach with me would be awesome. Bungee jump, I didn't see anyone to have a coach with them. So that's the reason I choose that one.
That's very good. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, it's a good question. So the bungee jumping, my fear there is that, particularly as I put on weight as I've gotten older, maybe I'll exceed the elastic constraint of that band that you're on and just crack my head on the bottom. So I'd much rather get thrown out of a plane, with a parachute on my back and skydive. And in fact, my kids are threatening to throw me out of a plane for my 60th birthday. So hopefully it'll be a good thing. We'll see.
Very good. Well, I have done both. So the day that we moved my older daughter into college, into the dormitory for her freshman year of college, she and I went skydiving. We repeated it when when my younger daughter moved into college. I went skydiving with her on her first day of college. And I've bungee jumped as well. And my favorite part of both experiences is the free fall. So the complete and total free fall. And the unenjoyable experience of skydiving was the canopy, and and I didn't really enjoy that as much. So if I could bungee jump, I would choose bungee jumping because of the it's all free fall, and even the bounce back is a bit of a free. You get to free fall multiple times, I guess I would say.
Wow.
So that's
Let's
it.
stick with building startups or helping them. How about that?
There we go. So Elizabeth, we certainly have your bio there, but maybe give us a little bit of how you got to where you are in A2C leadership and a little bit more about how you engage with clients.
Oh, okay, client. A2C leadership, I would say that is totally a act of and as I came back from US because I lived in Thailand for a while and worked for the largest Thailand company or international conglomerate. And then when I came back, and I pretty much volunteered all my time to be the Change Foundation, and also doing a lot of coaching and mentorship. And one time when pandemic started, the kids don't have computers, and we started to get donation. And I said, well, if you donate a computer, I will coach you. I will teach you how to become a C-level executive. So we got the 60 computers. And in the meanwhile, people said, you know what, Elizabeth, we don't want to just have a one-time boot camp of 8 weeks. We like to learn from you on a continuous basis. So we started a company called the A2C Leadership Group. And what I do every day is I send them career tips. We have a social network. We also we have a 3 Q&A session like this afternoon, 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. We have a Q&A, and all our students sign the confidentiality agreement, and that means we can freely talk about the career challenges. I just kind of created a safe environment for people to ask questions, and I can give them suggestions. And many of my students got into a VP level, and most of the students got the promotion after a few months of my program. So that's how I came to A2C Leadership Group. How did I know a client? I think listen to them. Listen to their pain point, listen to their needs, and then they don't know what they want because they haven't seen what's out there. They don't know what's going on. That's why they came to me, asked for career advices. So listen to their problem, and really get to the pain point that you come up with a solution to solve their pain points based on your unique experience and the skill set. And that's how I get to know the client. I've been dealing with clients throughout my career, so we can share some later on.
So tell us about some of your clients that you work with. Obviously no names, but the types of clients that you work with most commonly.
I work with 2 types of clients. So one type is we call the B2C. B2C are the people who are in the mid-career. They have between 3 to 5 years. Some of them even working experience. And when they have those experiences, they kind of are stuck in their career. And either they don't know how to get their first promotion, or they're stuck at the director level, don't know how to get into the VP level. And then they usually have a poor relationship with their managers, or they have a very siloed view about their business. So those are my typical students.
You know, as you think about the wealth of experience you've had and being a board member, and what are some what would have been some lessons learned for you about how to do C-level leadership well and maybe not so well? What are some kind of key points? And I know it's a myriad of things, but what are some high points from your experience?
Yeah, I've been on this at the C-level since 2005. It's been a while. I was the very few female VP engineering or SVP engineering reporting to CEO in the Valley or in the industry in 2005. I think the number one thing that I learned was perception is reality. And then sometimes we do things, we have good intention, we tried our best, but the clients or our boss, our team members don't view that way. And that's one of the first lesson I learned was perception is reality. That you truly need to step into other people's shoes, or I call it get into their virtual position to see yourself from that point of view. And that practice also helped me to build a win-win situation. For example, if you can step into other people's position to really understand their pain, understand their need, and then utilize your own skill set, your own experience, and come up with a solution that is win-win for both for you and also your partner. I think that's the best way to work with the clients, work with the team members as a C-level executive, and then that kind of quickly get into a certain position. For example, when I have a C-level executive E-staff meeting, I will quickly construct persona. We are from Axiom. We talk about the persona. We can quickly construct I call the virtual position or persona of my CEO, my board member, my peer, my team. So when we discuss certain questions, I will step into each person's virtual box or virtual position and think as if I were them. And then by doing that, I can quickly come up with the best solution that could potentially fit into everyone's needs. So that's number one that I felt it was a painful learning process, but I felt that was great learning for me. A second thing is really I call the 4 levels winning. The 4 levels winning is if we as a C-level executive, we only think about ourselves. We win, we win, we win. At the end of the day, we lose trust from everybody. So what I've been teaching people or what I've been training my team is to look at the 4 levels. You need to make your customer win, your company win, your bosses win, and your team win. When all 4 stakeholders or all 4 group of people win, you will be the biggest winner because you build trusting relationship and win-win trusting relationship with all of them. They trust you, and then they will do a lot more, do way more than the regular they would contribute. And also when they discover some opportunities or when they have a new opportunity, the first person they will think about is you. And then by doing kind of a trust-based win-win leadership, and you can motivate your team better because your team knows that you always think about the win-win. You always want them to win. That's the 2 things that I felt I learned the most that really helped me. And then the third thing is mentorship and coaching. I have a lot of coaches. I have a lot of mentors. I have more than 20 mentors. And then they've been great for me. What they have done for me was to teach me how to become a good executive before I even became a C-level executive. So throughout my career, I was lucky enough to have my mentors and teaching me. And before I became an employee, when I was at graduate school, they taught me how to become a good employee. Before I became a manager, they taught me how to become a good manager. Before I became a CTO, they taught me how to become a good CTO. So having that coach, when you do the skydive, you get a new position, you look at it, oh my God, I'm going to have this deep dive and I may die. But if you think about it, your coach is right there. If you forgot about turn on your equipment, someone will turn on for you. So that is the beauty of having a coach, having mentors.
Hey, folks, we'll be right back with the episode. But first, we want to tell you about a limited opportunity to take advantage of our Growth DX. For a limited time, we're offering a free strategy call to see whether our unique diagnostic tool is right for you. Go to innovationjunkie.com/growthdx to learn more.
So let's unpack that concept of mentors a little bit. I too am a huge proponent of mentorship, and I know Jeff Amrine is as well. It's a lot of our organizational work is based around mentorship, particularly on the startup side of the house. There's have you worked in organizations before where they attempted to assign mentors to employees? Versus having employees search out and find those mentors? What experience have you seen there in that regard?
It's all over the place. This is my first job at IBM. I had two mentors. First one was Josephine Chen. Later on, she became an IBM fellow. The second one is Beth Smith. She is the Watson Research Center, the head of a Watson Research Center right now. So I was lucky enough to have two women leaders assigned to me at the beginning of my career. So that's why I got a promotion within 2 years for joining IBM and became a first-line manager. And then later on, I found out I learned so much from my mentors. So I approached many people, whether it's at my workplace, my formal bosses, or my speakers. And it could be one of you to say, hey, Jeff, would you please be my mentor to do the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And later on, BMC Software assigned me a career coach because I became the group CTO and chief architect for the whole company. They assigned me a executive career coach. The rest of the companies were basically you find your own coach. But I think either way, they all work really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have felt, in some of my experiences that if we could train employees how to find and properly utilize mentors, that I found that to be a pretty successful approach because, I have multiple mentors, many of whom I've never had a conversation with them about, would you be my mentor? We just fostered a relationship together and we would go and I'd say, hey, can I buy you coffee and pick your brain on something? And so I found that to be a very natural yet very effective way to leverage mentors.
Yes. And I, as a executive, I have a large organization, and the largest organization I had was over 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. I assign mentors for most of my key players. Mm-hmm. And we do cross mentoring. For example, our senior most people will mentor the next levels. Mm-hmm. When they want to get a promotion, one of the criteria I have is, have you mentored anyone? Mm. I think mentorship is so important because good leaders must be teachers. If you cannot articulate your teachable point of view, if you don't have a leadership philosophy, or if you don't have a technical, best practice so that you can teach others, you're not a good leader. Mm-hmm. So that's why being a mentor to others, being a leader, and be a teacher is so critical for me, because that's one of the methods I used to train my leaders. I taught classes within my team. Actually, when I was at Axiom, and I gave talks about leadership classes to the new hires as well.
Yeah, I remember we overlapped at Axiom for about 17 or 18 months you were there. I think you left. Did you leave in 2013?
Yeah, something like that.
And I left I left about 3 years after that. So. Yeah, I remember you joining there. You were in our Foster City office, I believe, weren't you?
Exactly. And I thought we probably met each other when I visited Little Rock.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So go ahead, Jeff. I see you getting ready to ask a question.
Yeah, I was going to say, one thing, Elizabeth, in long career, been in multiple different organizations, military, startups, Fortune 500s. The thing that has always been clear to me is the coaching and the education we give leaders to become better leaders. Occasionally, that they take that as they have to play a certain persona, which may not be true or innate to their personality or the way they are naturally. And I've seen that. It's almost like watching a caricature or someone acting rather than genuinely being who they are when they're providing guidance or they're interacting with people. What are your thoughts and what advice would you give to emerging leaders regarding how to take in all that advice and guidance and mentorship and coaching, but still being genuine and authentic? What advice would you have?
Yeah, Jeff, that's a great question. One of my leader, one time we had a one-on-one. I said, "What's your leadership style?" He said, "I can be any style, whatever style you want to be." I said, "You know what? This is one thing that will accelerate your path to failure." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because people feel like you are unpredictable. And as a leader, you need to form a style that people know that at a certain circumstance, you make certain decisions, rather than you make decisions all over the place and then you interact with the people differently, and then people will feel like you're changing so quickly that we cannot trust you." So this is why I think a good style is good. I think another thing is when you take advice, you need to take advice in a way that what is the spirit of advice, right? For example, perception is reality. My mentor taught me that what I'm going to do. Am I going to create a perception that 1 minute I'm a very articulate leader, another minute I'm very introverted, I don't want to talk to anyone? But versus I have a consistent communication style, either written, video, voice, text, whatever, and you publish to the whole company, like, this is my preferred, this is the best way I communicate with others. I think as long as you pay attention that you can anticipate or you can observe the other person's observation about you, that you wouldn't hurt others and you would take the best way to communicate with others, then that perception or the reality from the other party probably will reflect your true skill set or your true capability.
How have you helped? So you have that direct report or one of your coaching clients who comes to you and says, "Oh, I can be any style." How have you helped them, or how do you help someone really home in on what is their style, what is their best style, and how can they cultivate that?
I think it's the combination of a self assessment and as well as the group assessment. We will have help them to do the assessment, their leadership assessment. We have a 3 assessment test for people, and also we have a 360 survey. And because I interact with my client at a group basis at least 3 times a week, I definitely have a lot of observation. And then we will we do a lot of class practice, like breakout rooms, a group presentation, so I can observe their style. I encourage people to communicate with the style that they are comfortable with. But also we have a step-by-step challenge. For example, if they are not familiar with making videos, to have short videos, we have steps like, first of all, you say, "Hi, I'm Elizabeth." And then you put the slides up, you can read your script. And then at the end, say, "Hi, I'm Elizabeth again, that if you have any questions and then please ask me using this email." So that just showing that the step-by-step approach for them to feel comfortable and confident that they can communicate in the video format, right? And you wouldn't stretch them. Just say, okay, now you need to train your presentation skill. You need to get on the stage in front of 20 people, 200 people, just talk. And we're going to record your video and then put this on your YouTube. That will scale hell of thing. It's like you put them on the airplane, open the airplane door, say, Jeff, jump, without any coaching.
You know, it raises another good point, is that occasionally, well, one concept is that I've heard that I agree with is that good leaders are those that can take the complex and make it simple and easy to understand, and they can communicate it in a way that doesn't alienate anyone, rather than throwing in the kitchen sink of every particular concept. I remember during a political campaign, a Republican presidential candidate, this is a couple of cycles back, had a 12 or a 14 point plan. Nobody's going to keep track of 12 or 14 points at a strategic level. 3 or 4 things, max, that are really big initiatives. What are your thoughts about that? What have you seen, and what could you convey? How can a leader take the complex and make it simple?
Well, this takes Jeff, this is a great question that takes a lot of practice. One of my second line manager, when I was at IBM at the very early of my career, he said, Elizabeth, on each slide, you have a maximum 3 points. And your presentation should not exceed 12 pages. I had this practice from day one. And another thing is you have to familiar with a different level of languages. For example, when I was at Thailand, we had over 350,000 employees. And I was the group CTO. One of my charter is to train them on digital transformation. Then we'll develop the level of vocabularies. For the executive, you need to come up with a level of with the vocabularies that is more abstract, more strategic. For the middle level one, you will have some of the strategic, but most of them are more detailed, execution oriented. For the most of the I will see the regular staff members, they're not particularly in any kind of leadership positions. They are more at the very tactical level. So we will give them a very specific and detailed information saying that this is the training you need to go through about your job, and you need to learn those kind of things. I think over the time as an executive, you really need to develop 3 levels of vocabulary to communicate certain points. For example, if we were going to talk about the cloud technology, I probably will talk about the cloud technology adoption. I wouldn't, even though I'm a cloud certified technologist, I wouldn't go down to the detail about how to set this features, how to set this feature with you guys. I hope those examples speak for them.
That was great.
Very good. Well, Elizabeth, it has been a really big pleasure to see you again and to have you on our podcast. I'd like to maybe give you a final question. Given all that you know about leadership and your experiences over the years of leading multiple levels of employees, what one piece of maybe one of your best nuggets or one final piece of advice or guidance would you give to aspiring leaders who are really looking to grow their careers, if there's anything else that you'd like to give them advice-wise?
All right. I think just be brave. But being brave is not being foolish. Get the right advisors. You need to build a career ecosystem. The ecosystem is not by you. It's your advisors, your mentors, your former bosses, and your peers in the different particular areas. They are the expertise in each area. And then when you get a new assignment, you don't just say, oh, as Elizabeth, I don't have that knowledge. But I will say, I can call Jeff, I can call Beth, I can call Pat, and together, you have a strong team. And then you become fearless and you can jump out of that plane without being scared because you have a great or the best in the world advisors and mentors be there with you. So let's jump and enjoying freedom and enjoying your success.
Well, thank you again so much for being with us. That's fantastic. We appreciate you for taking the time to spend it with us and our listeners today.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. I hope that the recording is smooth, and I definitely wanted to have some collaboration with you guys. And we each can contribute the different puzzle pieces of that career leadership ecosystem.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. This has been another episode of the Innovation Junkies podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Hey folks, this is Jeff Amrine. We want to thank you for tuning in. We sincerely appreciate your time. If you're enjoying the Innovation Junkies podcast, please do us a huge favor. Click the subscribe button right now and please leave us a review. It would mean the world to both of us. And don't forget to share us on social media.